And again, be sure to stick with our coverage here on Live Now from Fox beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And leading up to the top of that hour, we are going to be joined by several guests kind of weighing in on what we can expect from the findings that will officially be made public from the House Investigation Committee that has interviewed hundreds of people, sifted through thousands of documents. We are going to see all of their work before our eyes beginning tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do want to continue our coverage, kind of previewing what we can expect and really also the preparations that went into this very highly anticipated first day of multiple hearings expected throughout the week. So we're going to stay in our nation's capital. That is where we are being joined live right now by Fox 5 DC's Melanie Alnwick. Melanie, good morning to you. First off, I have to say, and I have to let our viewers know, I remember speaking to you live on protesters arriving at the Capitol while the election results were being certified. At that point, the chaos hadn't unfolded yet. So really off the bat, I have to ask, what is going on in your mind at the fact that we are now here, this first public hearing on the investigation that unfolded after that infamous day?
Well, it will be very interesting to see what the committee chooses to put forward, because they have to make a case here to the American people. A lot of people still don't believe in the legitimacy of this committee and the work that they've been doing. And so they do have to sort of cross that hurdle. And you're right, it is very strange to be standing here thinking about all that has transpired that morning when we were live. They were having the Stop the Steal rally. We knew that some Proud Boys were coming into town, but I don't think anyone really had an inkling of what was about to unfold. And that's been one of the things that I know the committee, one of the angles they're going to be looking at are security failures, because clearly Capitol Police said they were outnumbered that day. The security plan was not as it should have been for what actually came forward, and that is going to be one of the things they're looking at. And then in the days after, when we learned and we saw those videos, terrifying videos of the riot and the people streaming into the Capitol, the police officers being beaten and crushed, hearing their firsthand accounts of what actually happened to them. And we know we're going to hear more of those firsthand accounts today. There's also going to be a number of hearings. This is the first of 5 of these hearings, and other things that they're going to be looking into are going to be the financing and organizing of those rallies and the efforts of President Trump and his allies to stop the certification of the election. And another major focus is going to be, how did so many people come to believe these stolen election falsehoods? And here the committee also plans to delve into disinformation, how it spreads, and what extremist threats look like. We don't have a lot of names, Regina, released yet as far as who's going to be testifying at each of these hearings. We do know 2 so far. One is going to be Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards. She was the first law enforcement officer injured by rioters who stormed the Capitol grounds. And then they'll also hear from a man named Nick Quested, and he is a filmmaker who was there on the ground, embedded with some of these groups, these insurgent groups, and filmed some of these key moments in the Capitol riot. So it all goes down at 8 o'clock tonight, primetime TV. It'll be interesting to see how many people are wanting to tune into that.
Yeah, and when you talk about prime time, Melanie, as you mentioned, this is a highly anticipated public hearing. And I understand that while we're learning more about the preparations that have gone on into tonight, we are learning that they actually brought in a television producer to help put this show on. What can you tell us about that?
Well, if you can imagine, so it's been a year of testimony, right? We've talked about this. Thousands of witnesses, hundreds of thousands of documents. That is a lot for them to try to put on in a way that's digestible and interesting and understandable to the American people. So on one hand, it makes sense to bring in someone who has a lot of experience in condensing information and making it easily understandable and digestible and interesting television to watch, to be frank, because they want people to stay tuned and continue to watch. On the other hand, it is a bit problematic because it opens up this line of attack. We've heard other Republicans saying that this will be nothing nothing more than a made-for-TV moment. So we did hear that some of the video that's going to be played, they say it's going to have some gruesome clips, and we'll also hear some gripping personal accounts from some of the people, those officers who were attacked that day.
Well, again, certainly a highly anticipated event. Fox 5 DC's Melanie Alnwick outside of the U.S. Capitol building, kind of giving us some insight into what will go down tonight. Thank you so much for getting our viewers up to speed, and we'll certainly be staying in touch with you and your team. Stay safe out there.